So I had somebody question me if divorce season is real. And I want to go over a couple of key points in this video. Do me a favor if you would. Please hit the subscribe button. And yes, divorce season is real. The most significant increase in divorce filings occurs each January after the holidays. So this year, January 6th on is what I would consider divorce season. The first is on a Wednesday. They're going to let that week go by. And then what we're going to see is anyone who has made the decision to divorce. Often a lot of moms wait till after the holidays. They go through that one more pretend happy holiday season with family. They don't want to ruin the holidays as well, okay? But there's a couple of questions that come up regularly when men are faced with, I want a divorce, I love you, but I'm not in love with you, etc., etc. And that is, does this mean I'm going to end up divorced? And honestly, the answer is no. It depends individually on your situation, but at the end of the day, the men I work with, the men who work on themselves, stop being a nice guy, become a grounded, calm, confident man, about 50% of them save their marriage. They lead their wife to a version 2.0, loving, connected, deeply intimate relationship. And the other half lead themselves into an amazing life as a happily divorced man. All right? There is no way of predicting it. I have seen situations that I gave 1% or less chance of ever turning around, and it's like a switch flipped and the people turned it around, got to a version 2.0. I have seen relationships where the issues were not a big deal and it explode and fail spectacularly. Because if you have a immature partner, one who has her own mental issues or challenges that aren't being addressed and has childhood trauma that was never addressed, you're fighting a number of things. So a couple of mistakes I see made are assuming when you hear I want a divorce or I want separation or space that it guarantees divorce. It does not. But men, you have to determine if this is somebody you want to create a version 2.0 loving, connected, deeply intimate relationship with. All right. One of the biggest mistakes we see is people allowing it to become a high conflict divorce instead of trying to keep it amicable. I'm not saying you say yes to everything she wants. The reality is she goes through a delusional phase, but I'm talking about not poking the bear, taking the path of least resistance on things, and trying to either get to an agreed settlement or mediation, because going to court, you both spend thousands upon thousands of dollars to get to what is going to be the basic end of scenario, okay? Then the other mistake I see is men who don't know when to finally say, I'm done. You shouldn't be emotionally angry, pissed off. I'm done. That's it. No, it should be more that resigned. You've been working on things. You've done everything you could. And finally, you just say, that's it. I'm done. And honestly, after 2 or 3 years of working on yourself and trying to lead the relationship, there comes a point you just need to realize, yeah, this isn't going anywhere. And then I think the other mistake I see is men automatically equate divorce to failure, where often staying in a abusive, a toxic relationship is actually the failure. So, and then one other time we see a kind of a spike up in divorce, It's kind of a secondary divorce season, is in the fall when all the kids go back to school. They're back into the structured environment, and that's the second most time we see a little blip on the filings radar. But yes, divorce season is real. I wish it wasn't, but it is. And there are things you can do to put yourself in a better position if you ultimately end up divorced. It's not a guarantee just because that's how she's feeling when she has that conversation that it ends that way. But you want to have her choose you and not be just a safe alternative. So if you have any questions, you're struggling with this, my contact information is down below. Be happy to have a conversation with you, brother. Reach out and have a Merry Christmas.